Buenos días. Buenas tardes. Dzień dobry. Witamy na ziemi hiszpańskiej, na zgrupowaniu reprezentacji Polski, które tutaj dzisiaj się rozpoczyna przed meczami z Andorą i Węgrami. Dzisiaj jest z nami selekcjoner Paulo Sousa. Także proszę o zadawanie pytań, o ile to możliwe, to od razu w języku angielskim. Proszę, Michał, bardzo.
Hello, coach. First of all, I want to give you a question about your condition, about your heel. How was the symptoms of illness, and if are you recovered for 100% now?
Fortunately, it was fast, and during the process, it was so heavy. My first 3 days, it's with high fever, with some cough, nose, throat a little bit, headaches. But after the fever goes down, I started to do it in my room, already some physical activity, some bicycle, some functional work to oxygen my brain, to be much more fresh, waiting for the days passing. And after the 10th day, I made my first test, and it got negative. And straight away, the day after, also negative. And I'm here.
Okay. And second question I have to both of you, to Kuba and you, coach. If are you sure that MATTY is prepared to play for Poland? Because I heard about some complication from FIFA with him.
So far, all the information I have from the federation, he could be an option for the next two matches. For that, all my way to proceed on the planification for the Andorra's match, it's thinking with MATTY as an option to play with like the others.
Kuba.
Maybe I can explain more, because I know what is the background of this question, but I switch to Polish, if you don't mind. Sytuacja z Mattym Cashem jest prosta. My jesteśmy w kontakcie bezpośrednim z FIFA. FIFA nam przesłała odpowiedź na nasze pytania i generalnie FIFA stwierdziła, że to na federacji spoczywa odpowiedzialność, żeby mieć pełną wiedzę, czy dany zawodnik jest uprawniony do gry w takim zespole. To samo dotyczy na przykład żółtych kartek. Jeżeli ktoś ma 2 żółte kartki na koncie, to też naszą rolą jest zauważenie tego, nie wystawienie takiego piłkarza w składzie. Tak samo jest z Mattym Cashem. Jeżeli w naszej ocenie on jest uprawniony, to my nie potrzebujemy żadnej formalnej zgody ze strony FIFA, żeby on mógł u nas grać. A jeżeli byśmy bardzo chcieli mieć taką formalną zgodę, to potrzebujemy dopełnić jeszcze pewne formalności z uwagi na to, że Mattym Cash ma paszport również w Wielkiej Brytanii. W związku z tym on w teorii mógłby grać wcześniej w reprezentacji Anglii, Szkocji, Walii bądź Irlandii Północnej. I my do wszystkich tych 4 federacji zwróciliśmy się z pytaniem, żeby otrzymać od nich oświadczenie potwierdzające, że Matty w tych reprezentacjach nie zagrał. Dotychczas dostaliśmy odpowiedź od Federacji Angielskiej i Walijskiej. Nie mamy takiej odpowiedzi od Szkotów i Irlandczyków z północy. Jeżeli do czwartku takie listy do nas spłyną, no to my wystąpimy też oczywiście o taką formalną zgodę. Jak nie spłyną, to po prostu my, mając pełną świadomość, że on może u nas grać, bo ma paszport, bo ma obywatelstwo od swojego tak naprawdę pierwszego dnia od swoich urodzin, bo tak jest w tym dokumencie, który wojewoda mazowiecki podpisał, stwierdzone. No i jest też jednoznaczne to, że jego dziadkowie byli Polakami, urodzili się w Polsce, więc tutaj jakby wszystko jest od strony formalnej w porządku.
Czyli na teraz stanowisko prezydenta jest takie, że on może grać, tak?
Może grać, tak, nic nie stoi na przeszkodzie.
Good afternoon, coach.
Good afternoon.
I would like to follow the topic of MATTY. I would like to ask him about your idea. How are you going to use him as a wing back, because normally we are used to that in your approach, in your tactics. This right wing back has a little bit more offensive duties, because in the defensive phase the left wing back is going as a left defender and the right wing back stays in the midfield. And MATTY is not a midfielder, but we still know that he plays as a wing back and in Aston Villa normally. How are you going to use him in your tactics?
In that way, it's I don't see him to build it up from the back. It's a player it's used to give deepness in the wide corridor, defending as a fullback. It's quite intense, and also he have a resistance of this intensity on this pace. But it is something we thinking to compete with the players they are playing in that position. He gives us also the chance to pass some wide players also to the left side, the right ones like Józwiak, for example, or Franek. For that, he gives us also that chances he gives us also the chance in the future to have some option in our system, but not now.
Okay, and the second thing, who is going to replace Puchacz and Bednarek, who are suspended for the cards in the match against Andorra? Do you already know, or is it too early?
I think what we from the first day, the difficulties we have to have the same players in all camps, it gives the chance to the team, to have options in a good number of positions. And it gives opportunities to players they are not used to play in the national team, and someone also not playing in the clubs, to be an option on the national team. For that, this it's not, we will have a good number of players to play on the back in the position of BŁDZIE. BŁDZIE, it's the ones they are more used in our team. You have more regularity in our game. It's true. It's someone relating for laterality, foot laterality. It's the one more used to play in the left side in our build-it-up. He can grow a lot, but we don't have time to work with him some behaviors different than are used on the clubs. But we go to find out a solution first for the match against Andorra, a match where it's a key position for us in two moments of the game. One, in our build-it-up, the capacity to read the game and to have good passes, short and long also as well, because sometimes the most of times we'll be closer to their half. For that we need to have a player, because normally they played with the goalkeeper, a line of 5, a line of 4, and one striker. Very short, very well organized, and the game and special home, they are extremely aggressive. Sometimes also on the borderline and on the limit of the red. For that, the three players in our build-it-up and to decide to change the pace of our game, it's the two external players from the back. For that, we need to looking for solutions where they realize the importance of that position, to feed our offensive game.
Hello, Coach. One more question about MATTY, maybe a bit outside the pitch. We could see hear that he is a volcano of energy, positive energy. As it comes to your observation, are you sure already that he will become a full part of that team? Because in the previous times in the Polish team, we had also players who didn't speak Polish, and in the long term, they had some problems with communication, with integration. Do you have any special plan for him to make him also the part of that team? Not only on a pitch, but also outside of the pitch?
I think more than ever, I see a family around us as a national team. They understand the role of each one through the national team. The national team need to be above of each individuals, and each one he make part of that. I think he have a big integration already from the ones that was here and more longer. I feel much more connection. For that, in that part, I'm quite sure it will be a good integration, because MATTY, it's like you said, plenty of energy, lots of enthusiasm, very positive all the time. That I think it will be good. Also, it will be good because for him, he could have also a moment where he can listen also the Polish language. Not only at home, mainly I'm quite sure now when he started the process between him and his mother, it's I'm quite sure they talk more often in the Polish language. But I think it's the communication you can find out different ways, and the communication need to be in our group. You need to be about respect, about each other, about the rule of for the national team, friendship, you know, it's intimacy, also to try to understand each other and to help each other on the pitch, to give an extra thing. And this is something we need to keep working on this direction. And inside of the pitch, it's learning the process, understanding what we're looking for him. My request to him regarding what he it's used to do in this club, it's a extra. It's something I go to started to talk with him today, and special tomorrow, about what we are looking more from him, and then to keep at the things they are used to do it, because he's doing well.
May I have one more question now about Arek Milik? I suppose we agree that now it's not the 100% Arek Milik that he used to be before his injury. In your opinion, what does he need? How much time does he need to get back his full potential?
Many times we make a big mistake thinking when the player is able to play, it's completely recover. The last part of the recover, it's the difficult one. And it's the competition, it's regularity on the competition. And special players like him with lots of irregularity on his, in his competition, coming from his injuries, it don't make him achieve always his potential. And for a striker, it's all about goals, because every way to see a striker, it's about numbers, and it's something. Hopefully, the national team have been helping lots of a good number of strikers to scoring goals and to raise their levels. And hopefully we can do it. We can provide once more for Arek on this this call.
I'm sorry, coach, but I have another question about MATTY. Can you tell us now? Do you want him to play in both games, against Andorra and against Hungary? What is your plan for him for this training camp?
My plan for him is need to compete with the others and to be ready to play when myself and my staff decide it's the moment to play. This is what I'm been saying. It's another option, different than the ones than we have. For that, but it's not guarantee he goes to play. He need to compete with the others. It's another option, a strong option, and it's good to have him now because soon we have be easier for him to integrate to our dynamics, not only the way we thinking on the game and the dynamics we want to see it, but also the integration with his teammates, the behavior of his teammates, the way that his teammates they thinking on the game, what type of decisions they are used to do, special around him, where he can perform better and better.
Coach, how do you handle the big problem that a lot of key our players has a problems with regular playing in the clubs? I mean, white players like, for example, Pocheta has only 2 minutes in the club. Even Jóźwiak doesn't play at 2 last club games. Tymek Puchasz plays only in the Conference League in Bundesliga, doesn't play at all. It's a big problem like for the short camp with national team.
We have always two measures. But this is always understandable because I understand always your point of view. We are the best and we need to win titles, or we have these type of problems. These type of problems, they will be always present actually and also in the future if we keep walking. When I say we keep, it's Polish football. Keep walking, looking their feet, not looking in front, and what he need to be request, we need to be done to do things. And I try to explain my thought for what I'm saw it so far. It's Poland need to have a huge reform in the football. Really strongly structure, where we can aspire to compete at high level, constant with regularity, and to thinking to win titles, or to think to compete with the clubs, Polish clubs in international competitions. If we want to do this, if we want to achieve that, we need to have a strongly reform, really structure, and we need to pass an action. Yeah, too many things to do it. If we want to compare, because I don't want to go deep, because I need to focus only more on the present than this. For me, it's only to pass you my thoughts for what I'm seeing, and I'm, have the contact regarding the football. And this is one of the situations. How many players, not from now, also from the past, they leave Poland and they have problems to affirm themselves in their clubs and to play with more regularity. They cost them time, many time. It's not too many players. They have the chance straight away to arrive there and to play straight away in the first 11 with a regularity. Lots of difficulties because he's missing things to work. And these things he needs to work on a daily basis and quite as a young age. For that, it's in my opinion, Poland cannot think on the results. You need to think how to build the results on the future. Of course, the result helps the process, but we need to know what type of process we need to be done. And in my opinion, to becoming much stronger in the future, because if we compare the potential of Poland country we have with 40 million, we can have, you have a big range where you can work. And comparing, for example, to Portugal, Holland, Belgium, Swiss, the range is much less, and they are at a level much higher than ours, with number of players, with clubs also. For that, it's something, in my opinion, need to be done.
Coach, I would like to also ask you about the approach for this whole, like, 2 games, for this whole camp, because I think it's a tricky one, because first of all, we have a crucial game against Andorra. We know that if the results are good for us and what happens in England, we can already have a second place for 100% and be sure of the playoffs in March. But on the other hand, the second game against Hungary is going to be also a tough one, an important one. And I wonder, how do you treat this time? Because we have much time until Friday to prepare, to work. I think it's quite a lot. And how do you treat this situation? How are you going to work? Are you only going to focus until Friday only on Andorra?
Yes.
And
Yes, it's true. Believe me, it's this is where we go to have the main focus. It's against Andorra, and after Andorra we go to consider what's going on, about the results, about the players, yellows, and so on. Then we need to make. We are already anticipating things. We have lots of thoughts, but only after the game, then we can react, because we was already proactive to consider. For that, we have some players from the under 21, you know, waiting if we call them or not. But not only regarding that, regarding also their behaviors in the national and under 21, and what they do it in also under 21. I think under 21, you need to be extension from the first national team, and they have a key games, especially the first one, really high competitive, and the ones they want to you know, to work for a place or to compete for a place in the first national team, they need to show in under 21 they make the difference.
Following a bit Radek's question, preparing the lineup for the Andorra, are you going to consider the way Andorra played, for example, in Warsaw? The fact that Robert finished the game with an injury, that Krychowiak was fouled in a quite hard way, a lot of hard fouls. Are you afraid of it that it's going to look like again, especially they played home?
Like I said, I expect a well-organized team, tactically, extremely aggressive. Many times in the borderline. Hopefully we have a referee. He cannot think about the levels of the two teams, because sometimes it's used to protect always the lower one, but we need to protect the football, and especially the football players. For that, I think this is something, and the UEFA and FIFA, they are really strict on that. For that, it's something from their part, and also for the part of our players, is something we talk about. It's respect to the opponent, the integrity of the opponent. We can be aggressive, but always in the right way. But what I think it's to have the best team in the moment, you know, to focus on that game and to win, because we was really difficult to beat them, because yes, we dominate the game, but we create a good number of chances, especially more in the second half. But to score the first and second goal, it don't was easy. Albania he won here in Andorra. He won 1-0. The last game against Hungary, Hungary 2-1. The last 10 minutes they finish under pressure, Hungary. In Wembley, England, the first goal, I think it was around 70 millions. For that, it's a team well organized, very difficult, you know, and it's depending of the intensity, the way we approach the game. That intensity we need to have because we have a good approach in Varsovia. We don't consider nothing. We don't give him nothing because the intensity mentally and physically it was amazing. They have 1-on-1 free kick very far away from our goal. And also like that, they create like something for that we need to have the same behavior. And our quality, better than our opponent, you need to make the difference regarding what together with the thing we consider key dynamics to create a good number of opportunities to scoring goals and to win the match.
Chyba wyczerpaliśmy tematy na dzisiaj, także dziękujemy za udział w konferencji. O 16:00 mamy rozruch tutaj na pobliskim boisku. Także do zobaczenia i dziękujemy. A jutro Robert Lewandowski.
Thank you guys. See you. See you later.